How in the world? Oh my God, now I want to watch The Voice tonight. Oh. Hey fam, what's up? This is Robert Anton here at robertanton.com, coming to you with your no-frills commentary from a singer. Yes, I am watching The Voice. I had to watch it on replay on NBC. So let me jump right into it and tell you what happened. Tonight, TeamCeelo and TeamChristina were performing, and Carson said every artist charted on iTunes after the show last night. Let's pretend it's Wednesday right now, okay? So Monday night, every artist charted the next day on the charts. Congratulations. We started out with TeamChristina and TeamCeelo joining forces to sing by My Chemical Romance. They were working the levels of the stage on this. They had the stage upset. You saw people underneath it and on the side and on top. It was really, really nice. I liked it. Cody and Deloera kicked off the proceedings in fine voice, and they had a really good harmony and a mix going with everybody. There were some really good solos too, and only one or two that were not so great. They all seemed to have a really good rapport with one another. It was a nice energy going on. I could just feel it just coming out from everybody to the audience. I wrote just very, very nice. So who do you think was better? TeamCeelo and TeamChristina or Team Adam and Team Blake? Let me know. For performances, first up we had TeamChristina with Adriana Louise doing Firework by Katy Perry. Now this is a very rangy song, and in the very beginning it's always very low for girls who really hit those top notes. And it's challenging. It's very challenging. The music in the beginning kind of drowned her out a bit in the lower parts, but she really started to shine when she got into the chorus. This sounded very good in her voice, and she got off a nice, really big note near the end. Ceelo said she did a wonderful performance and she's worthy competition. Adam said she's so great, an incredible job. Blake said it's a big deal every time she performs. TeamCeelo was up next with Cody Belew doing One More Try by George Michael. I love the organ in the beginning of this. It was really bringing in that old gospel flavor. You know I like that, right? This was a really good song choice for him, and he worked it for everything it was worth. Even in the slow song, he was giving a little bam bam, as he calls it, and very dramatic. Not his best vocal, but a really nice change of pace from him, and Ceelo gave him a standing ovation. Adam said genius choice of song, and he did a brilliant job. Blake said Cody has become one of his wife's favorites and also his own on the show, and he thought it was his best yet. Christina said he's one of her favorites and she can't help a big smile when he performs. Totally agree. So after commercial, Carson introduced Taylor Kinney from Chicago Fire, who was in the audience. You know, a nice little set for them to promote the show, which comes on after The Voice. So that was nice. Make sure, I have to write this down to make sure I remember. Please make sure to thumb it up if you enjoy my commentaries. Let me know by thumbing it up. Let other people know by thumbing it up. Give me your thumbs. I really, really appreciate it. Next up we had TeamChristina with Deloera doing Who Knew by Pink. She invests herself deeply in every lyric she performs, and I really love that about her. She always makes it personal. Her singing was on point, and she was working the crowd and nailed the run into a high note that was technically perfect. Great energy throughout, but especially loved her skipping across the stage at some points. It was just such glee to be performing and just so much into everything that was going on around her. I really, really liked her. She is really one of my favorites now. Diego Val for TeamCeelo was up next with Beleamos, Enrique, Iglesias. Another good pairing of song and lyric and artist from Ceelo, I think. He sounded really good on this with a gruffness and a really nice vulnerability. It may have been just a tad high for him. They should have brought down the key at least maybe a half step or a step so that it fit more comfortably in his voice, because he seemed to be straining a bit in places, but it really showed off his Latin swagger in my opinion, and he knew how to caress the Spanish like only a native speaker can usually accomplish. Adam said he thought he did a good job, but he didn't feel like he was really engaged at times. Blake said there's a coolness about him that's real. And in Ceelo comments, Ceelo said something that sounded like he won't be saving Diego if America doesn't save him. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys think, because he also said the same thing for MacKenzie Bourg. So MacKenzie was up next for TeamCeelo. He did What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction. He takes on another really big current song and keeps it pretty much the same this time. I actually think that was a good thing. The pause between verse and chorus was brilliant for me and had the crowd screaming. I liked when he dropped the guitar and sped it up just a little bit. This was just a little high in places for him also, but he handled it well. I could tell by the end his throat had constricted from singing all the words and in the top of his range, you know, and I could tell because it's happened to me on CeeLo's Forget You when I performed that. It's just so fast, and it's also in the top of the range, so it doesn't give you time to really get very good breaths to support those top notes, and he was struggling with that, and I could tell. Adam said he's a throwback to Buddy Holly and freaking adorable, and he's an American Idol. American Idol? Did he mention American Idol on the show? Blake said he's one of the more popular people in this competition. Christina said he's adorable, but she wants to see more depth from him. After the commercial, Carson again pushed the voice auditions on NBC.com. I didn't look it up last week, so I'm going to try to remember to look it up tonight or tomorrow. TeamCeelo had Nicholas David doing First, My Last, My Everything by Barry White. And this is one of my favorite songs to do on gigs. It's just so cool and such a great vibe. Such an iconic song with deep soulful notes. I wrote you could check out my rendition here on YouTube. I'm probably going to attach it to this. Anyway, he really was vibing and it sounded really good in his voice. The crowd was standing up and clapping along the whole time. Oh, I noticed that Christina didn't seem to be pleased when the camera hit her right after he finished. She gave this look like... Adam had to try and quiet the crowd to talk, and he said Nicholas did a great job. Blake said he's not supposed to look like that and sound like that, which is totally true. He has such this so soulful sound. You just wouldn't expect it coming out of this guy that looks like this. CeeLo talked a lot after this performance, so I'm not even gonna go into it. Next up, TeamChristina had Sylvia Yacoub doing The One That Got Away by Katy Perry. She started out at the piano, but she didn't give all her energy to the piano, and I talked about this on other critiques, how a lot of times when you're sitting at the piano, people are playing, they're all like this, they're right down in there. She was totally opened up. She was just playing and talking about what she was talking about in the song. Really adorable and very, very nice. She kept it out to the audience. Very touching and heartfelt performance. I was waiting for her to leave the piano when the quicker pace came in, but she stayed behind the piano. I thought that was just I don't know, I didn't like that. I wish she would have stood. But it was still a very, very good performance. CeeLo said it was probably his favorite of the night. Adam said she definitely deserves to move forward, and this was a great song choice. Sylvia started crying while Christina was giving her thoughts. TeamChristina had Duron up next doing Wanted by Hunte Hayes. This was a country song that sounded totally pop with Dez doing it. I mean, it really did. You would never have known it was a country song. I liked his tone on the song and the intensity he gave to the performance. What was up with his pants though? I don't even want to talk about this, but they want to show a little bit of softcore on this or what? I mean, no pun intended. But I was like, what's up with that? You know, it was especially noticeable when he was coming in, you know, it was just full him on, and I was like, what? Maybe it's my dirty mind, I don't know. Adam said he thinks he has a really great voice, but he wants to see him break out even more. Christina stood up for him twice after he finished and when it was time for her to give her critiques, and she said he did everything spot on. Last up in the pimp spot, we had TeamCeelo with Trevin Hunte doing How Am I Supposed to Live Without You by Michael Bolton. I'm not crazy about the way The Voice has so many of them starting in the darkness. She'll do it once, do it twice, but it got annoying because they did it almost a whole dang show. Trevin got the pimp spot, and rightly so. He's such a consummate vocalist that I know every time he sings, I am going to be moved, and this is no different. Such a sweetness and tenderness for a big guy. I called him a gentle teddy bear with a golden voice. His runs were well placed and he was shining throughout this performance. So great, just so great. Blake, CeeLo, and Adam all stood for him. Blake said Trevin moves him every time he gets on stage and he has everything it takes to win. Christina said there's something so captivating about him and he's so special, but she was waiting for the money note. CeeLo said he was speechless and then he kept talking. That's what he kept talking. I'm speechless, but let me tell you something. Yes, I enjoyed this. I'm so sorry that I couldn't watch it live and tweet with you guys, but again, I am going to give The Voice their time on their night. I'm going to give X Factor their time on their night, and if they switch to try to compete or for whatever reason, I'm going to stick with the person who it is their night. And I'm like that with gigs. I'm like that professionally. If I tell you I'm going to do something with you, somebody else asks me and I would prefer to do it, I will go with you because I have already promised you, and that's just right. Robert Anton. And I got a good story about that sometime that I'll tell you. Maybe if enough people want to know, pop it down in the comments and I'll tell this story because it is a trip. It had to do with a gig at a commercial. But this is Robert Anton, robertanton.com. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Again, I will be watching the X Factor results tonight, even though I want to watch the Voice results. Do not tell me what happened on the Voice because I am going to watch the Voice results on Friday without looking at any of the tweets and stuff to see what happened. I don't want to know what happened until I watch. Okay, this is Robert Anton. I'm out. Peace.